It's a new era at Spotify. Or at least, that's what Spotify's PR team wants you to believe. Spotify just announced this week that its founder and longstanding CEO Daniel Ek will be stepping down from his position, and he will be replaced by not one, but two new leaders who will lead the company as co-CEOs. And Daniel Ek will move into a new position as executive chairman. What does this mean for Spotify and the streaming landscape for independent artists like you and me? I'm going to peel back the layers of hype and discuss what this actually means for us. What's up, guys? My name is Kyle. I'm a lifelong musician who founded Kyle the Ally with the mission of being the trustworthy outlet that you can go to for help with music promotion to get your music out there in the world and get it heard. So as you could probably guess, I am very interested in what's going on at Spotify right now. Let's talk about it. Spotify's announcement came this past Tuesday, September 30th. Basically, what they've said is that longtime CEO of almost 20 years, Daniel Ek, is set to transition into a new role within the company, and he's going to become the executive chairman of Spotify. And replacing him, they've identified his two successors as Gustav Söderström and Alex Norström, who will replace Ek as co-CEOs of the Swedish company effective January 1st, 2026. So it's not going into effect right away, and the two co-CEOs will continue to report to Daniel Ek. That part's important, so please remember that. Daniel Ek will remain on Spotify's board of directors pending approval from the company's shareholders. Many media outlets have said that Daniel Ek's role will follow the European chairman model. I had to look up what exactly that meant, but basically it means he's going to be responsible for the company's capital allocation, which is how the business spends its money, crafting the long-term vision for the business, and also advising the senior leadership team. Now, doesn't that sound like what a CEO does anyway? Who the heck is Daniel Ek? In case you've been living under a rock, Daniel Ek is the co-founder of Spotify alongside Martin Lorentzen, and they established the company all the way back in 2006. And Daniel Ek has been in charge of the company pretty much since then. The general vibe check on the guy is pretty sour. Daniel Ek is pretty unpopular among a lot of the artists who publish music on his platform, and that stems in part from some of the comments he's made in public interviews that some find reductive or insulting, such as the idea that music needs to be mass-produced for the streaming age, and openly admitting that Spotify's algorithm rewards sheer quantity or number of songs, and that the quality of the music you produce is almost irrelevant. Some other people have criticized him for being a billionaire at a time where Spotify's profitability has been tenuous at best, all the while paying artists very, very little for their streams. If you didn't know, 2024 was the first full year that Spotify achieved profitability. However, since 2017, Daniel Ek's personal base salary from Spotify has been $0. And it's said that he makes a lot of his money through selling his own stock in the company. One source estimates that in 2024, through a combination of stock sales, his pension program, and other compensation, so things like performance-related bonuses, Daniel Ek made $1.4 million from Spotify. This is actually kind of common in the corporate world that executives don't make their money through base salaries. They make it through other things like bonuses and the stock that they have in the company, especially if they're a founding member like Daniel Ek. After some research, I actually don't think he's the nefarious plutocrat that a lot of people make him out to be. However, he has been a figurehead for a lot of Spotify's unpopular changes over the last few years, particularly in regard to the way their profit sharing model has changed. So the two guys who are replacing him are Gustav Söderström, who was previously the co-president and chief technical officer, and Alex Norström, who is previously the other co-president and the chief business officer. They both have about 15 years of tenure at Spotify. These two have already been leading Spotify's day-to-day operations effectively for the last 3 years. Their stated goals now as the new co-CEOs is to reach 1 billion subscribers for the platform by expanding Spotify into new markets and by introducing new features that'll attract more users to the platform over time. This is actually not the first time a company has adopted this co-CEO model where multiple people are in charge rather than just one guy. Spotify joins Netflix, Comcast, and Oracle as companies adopting the co-CEO model. So what is this change of leadership going to change at Spotify? In short, nothing. This is mostly just an optics move that legitimizes the way Spotify has already been operating for the last 3 years. Söderström and Norström have been important leaders managing the day-to-day operations of the company under Daniel Ek's supervision for quite some time now. This is the company's way of internally promoting Söderström and Norström while keeping Daniel Ek effectively in charge. Why even do this in the first place if nothing's going to change at the company? Well, to put it bluntly, Daniel Ek is unpopular. Recently, there's been an exodus of artists taking their music off the platform and applying pressure on Spotify. So this is an opportunity for Spotify's PR team to spin it as an unpopular CEO stepping down to leave room for new leadership in an effort to save the company's image in the court of public opinion. And in particular, it's meant to appease the company's shareholders who may be getting queasy over Daniel Ek's waning popularity and tarnishing the reputation of the company around him. It shows that Spotify can respond to public pressure without changing anything about how the company actually works day to day. And if you didn't know, Spotify is a publicly traded company, which means they care about their shareholders first. What does this change for you and me, the artists? Again, nothing. Spotify is not going anywhere. As of the recording of this video, they own 31.7% of the global streaming market share, which is the largest portion of any streaming service. It doesn't matter who the CEO is, and it doesn't even matter what we as the artists do, to be frank. What cements Spotify's place in the world is the listener base that it has. Basically, the people who come to Spotify, subscribe to the service, and consume music there are going to determine whether Spotify continues to stay relevant. In my opinion, we love to hate it, but Spotify does deliver the best consumer experience for the users who are there to listen to music on the app. You could be the change that you want to see in the world as a consumer and switch to another streaming platform. As a matter of fact, I actually did this. Back in 2022, I briefly switched to Tidal, another streaming service, for my personal music consumption. I originally went there because Tidal claims to pay artists more per stream than Spotify by a big margin, but I quickly fell out of love with Tidal when I realized that their app just doesn't hold a candle to the experience of using the Spotify app. So I ended up switching back to Spotify. So what can you do as an artist publishing music in this world? Like it or not, Spotify is not going anywhere regardless of the change of leadership. So you need to learn how to play the game as it is right now if you want to succeed. Want to learn how to get on top of the Spotify game? Well, I've got a brand new course that I just launched called Meta Music Marketing Mastery, which is designed to teach you how to use the Meta Ads platform to promote your music on digital streaming platforms with an emphasis on Spotify. It assumes that you have no prior knowledge, so a beginner can pick this up and become an expert, but even the seasoned veterans will stand to learn a lot from this course. And we cover everything from building your ad account, setting up pixels and conversion tracking, selecting your audiences, ad copy, your ad creative, how to actually manage a campaign, all of the button clicks it takes to build the campaign, and how to analyze the data that you get out of this. If you're interested in learning more about the course, I'd be stoked if you did because I poured my heart and soul into this. I'll put the link in the description down below so you can check it out, learn more, and consider picking up a copy. We've got a long winter coming up, and it's a perfect time to learn a new skill and learn how to take the destiny of your music promotion back into your own hands. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it's kind of a bummer that this wasn't the big shakeup that a lot of people were hoping for, but if you're interested in learning or reading more, I'll put the links to the sources I used in my research down below. If you learned something, I encourage you guys to subscribe for more helpful music marketing tutorials, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Later.